My problem with the films was really that I think Jackson was kind of too faithful to the book. He kind of put too much into it.
I think one of the things that he thought The Lord of the Rings was a really good read.
Our list of allies grows thin.
His treachery runs deeper than you know.
Ill news is an ill guest.
Be silent. Keep your forked tongue behind your teeth. I have not passed through fire and death to bandy crooked words with a witless worm.
I tell you now, I will not bow to this ranger from the north, last of a ragged house long bereft of lordship.
Authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king, steward.
The rule of Gondor is mine, and no other's.
Yo, what up? ¿Qué pasa? Zenmayang. Salvete yax brave. What is going on? So today I have some more stuff about Rings of Power, Tolkien stuff, and Lord of the Rings. And before I go any further, even before I start talking about this, I want to say that I've spent about a week just reading, researching, studying, trying to understand some of the background of what's going on here, because this is coming down to some thoughts about Simon Tolkien, who is the current executor of the Tolkien Estate. And after chewing on this for a week or better, I'm pretty much of the opinion that Simon Tolkien really isn't the best guy to be at the helm of the Tolkien Estate. Let me explain. So, to put a preface to this once again, my desire is not to wish anyone any ill will at all. And that's not, before we go any further, what this is about. There's a difference between assigning blame and fault and ill will and bad feelings to someone or something or a situation. There's a difference between that and discerning cause and effect. And right now, all I'm trying to do is discern cause and effect, because I just didn't understand, and I'm trying to understand how Amazon, for instance, could get this so terribly, terribly wrong. And once I discovered in the last week or so that Simon Tolkien has been an executor on the estate, he's the executor of the Tolkien Estate, I just started digging into that. And it made me wonder what the timeline was like. So, if we start looking, I started looking, I'm going to try to tie together several threads. So I started looking at Amazon's purchase of Lord of the Rings. And this happened in late 2017. And I thought, well, why did it happen in late 2017? So $250 million for the rights to make a TV show and to the rights to Lord of the Rings. And I thought, well, why then? Why did that happen then? And the timing of Christopher Tolkien departing from the Tolkien Estate was just within a matter of months. So the timing was like impeccable. So that he was effective in his resignation on August 29th, 2017. So this article here on Middle Earth Blog proceeds to articulate more about that. And this must have been like right before Amazon bought it, because the Tolkien Estate approached Amazon, approached Netflix. The Tolkien Estate approached Netflix and HBO as well as Amazon. So although Amazon may be willing to pay out as much as $500 million, the high price tag could also be a result of a must-win auction. So Amazon really wanted this. And again, this is in late 2017. This article is after November 3rd, 2017. And it is almost prophetic. Take a look at this. Honestly, you could take just about any one-sentence anecdote from the thousands of pages of Tolkien's published notes, turn that into a multi-season television show. Amazon doesn't need to have rights to everything in the Tolkien Arcana to milk this material for decades. They just need the appendices and the creative license to fill in the gaps. I read that and I was like, oh my goodness, holy crap. Greetings. This episode brought to you today by yours truly at Blue Mesa Studios. Please have a look at the links for Patreon. I'm also on Buy Me a Coffee and several other places that are shown on your screen. If you'd like to support the channel, that would really help me out a lot. Thank you for watching, and now on with the show. Here's another article saying essentially the same thing. It's a Screen Rant, which is kind of hit or miss. And it articulates about how Christopher Tolkien has stepped down. But none of these articles that I could see specified who took the leadership position after Christopher Tolkien stepped down. So who knows? As it says, there might very well soon be some big changes for fans of Lord of the Rings. And Christopher Tolkien has been an undeniable purist when it comes to Lord of the Rings. And as is probably some common knowledge, Christopher Tolkien did not want to make Lord of the Rings into movies. So here we go. This is important, though, because of the recent news of the TV series going ahead. Evidently, the TV series is only happening because Tolkien has stepped down. Christopher Tolkien stepped down. So, I mean, another article, I think it was either this one or the Middle Earth article. It might have been this one. Here we go. Obviously, deals of this nature don't happen overnight, and it's even possible that there were talks of a TV series going on while Christopher Tolkien was still serving as estate director. Yet the final decision was certainly made when Tolkien no longer had any say or control. The timing is undoubtedly notable, and at the very least it suggests that the new estate director is much more willing to make deals and sell the rights to Lord of the Rings than Christopher Tolkien. So now that we know that Simon Tolkien is the director of the estate, I still don't know when Simon Tolkien took over as the director of the estate. Maybe it was directly after Christopher Tolkien. Maybe there was some sort of interim director. I don't know. I do not know that. That is a gap. I do not have that knowledge. So I cannot speculate and I cannot assume. I cannot hypothesize on anyone's motives based on that gap, based on that lack of knowledge. There's no way to do that. However, now digging into Simon Tolkien a little bit, one of the first articles that I found was rather difficult, actually. And apparently, at this time, this is from 24th February 2003. Apparently, the movies by Peter Jackson caused quite a rift. Enough of a rift between Christopher Tolkien and Simon Tolkien to cause them not to speak for several years. So then I just find this is just, I mean, I don't even know what to make of it, of Simon Tolkien on this. I mean, he writes a novel, and I would encourage people to read these articles, which I will link in the description, and come to your own conclusions. But Simon Tolkien writes a novel that is so on the nose and practically accusatory of his father. I mean, and they even say it here. So in the story that Simon Tolkien wrote, the character cuts his son out of his life. He refuses even to speak to him. As Simon Tolkien explains, this raised a few American eyebrows. My editor was concerned that I'd taken Peter Robinson to a point where he could not be believed in. And I said, no, maybe this is an English thing. Maybe it's related to English public schools and all the rest of it. But English fathers are capable of this kind of action, and it's wrong. So right now I'm going, oh wow, okay. Tolkien's voice is becoming more intense, and his fleshy face is suffused with a red flush, against which his blue eyes stand out all the brighter. Because when he refers to English fathers, what he means is his father, Christopher Tolkien. So this article is quite on the nose. I haven't spoken to my father except in an annual business meeting context in the past 4 years. So that opens up a whole can of worms. It's like, okay, well, what's going on here? What I also found out, their fight began in 1998 when the director Peter Jackson began work on a trilogy of films based on Lord of the Rings. And we had no control over the films whatsoever. Simon Tolkien explains, nonetheless, Simon Tolkien, was keen to be supportive of the project. His father, however, disagreed. The Tolkien's Estate's viewpoint, which was perfectly valid, was we've got no control over it, so let's not get involved. So digging deeper, this was something that actually took me aback, and my mouth actually dropped open whenever I read this paragraph. Because, there's a lot going on here. Simon Tolkien is saying, why should I be excluded from the board of my grandfather's company? He asks, when my stepmother is on it. I think my grandfather would be appalled to know that I'd been treated this way, because I think he regarded me as very special and cared about me a great deal. I don't think he would be happy about my being excluded from my literary inheritance, and it makes me angry. Simon Tolkien gets up and starts pacing across the room, because it's not fair. And I'm just going, oh, bud, life ain't fair. So, getting to the point of all this, Simon Tolkien seems to think that he's special, and yet he doesn't want to be in his grandfather's or his father's shadows. So he comes across in this article as just, he's just tearing into his father, Christopher. And like I said, I don't know the entire situation, so I am not assigning blame. I am simply trying to establish cause and effect. So they go on and on and on, and it's a very insightful article, and I would encourage people to read it, because here is another point that I want to make. JRR Tolkien seemed to dote, if you will, on Simon, because Simon went and visited JRR Tolkien quite a bit, and so Simon says, J.R.R. Tolkien, was very conscious of the fact that my father had remarried and I was an only child, so he made a big fuss of me and we had a lot of fun. I had read Lord of the Rings at a very early age and plagued him with endless questions about every small detail of it. He was incredibly patient. I never remember him being angry or upset in any way. So this is my beef, I guess, with this, and that is that Simon seems to come off as thinking that he's very special, and he did have a particular special positive relationship with J.R.R. Tolkien, but at the end of the day, that I don't believe qualifies a person for the authorship or the editorship of J.R.R. Tolkien's work. I think that pretty much began and ended with Christopher Tolkien, because, Simon Tolkien, it says here, goes on to become a lawyer, a solicitor, a barrister, and that's quite an accomplishment. I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but, he says, I've had to work hard all my life, and this is my thing. Tracy, to whom he's been married for 20 years, turns out to be equally down to earth and as exhausted looking as you might expect of a woman who has a business, a husband, a 12-year-old boy, 1-year-old daughter. And Tolkien has benefited to some degree from his grandfather's increasingly vast legacy. He cannot specify how. See, this is the thing. This is another big gray area, big question mark. He also insists, I've worked damn hard all my life, and so has my wife. And I've worked because I have to work. Which kind of makes me wonder, well, if he had access to his literary inheritance, then would he have had to work? That's my question. So, at the end of the day, I think my main point is that I don't believe this guy. Okay, so the interesting thing is that J.R.R. Tolkien, Christopher Tolkien, and even Simon Tolkien all agree that the Lord of the Rings, that J.R.R. Tolkien would not like screen adaptations of his literary work. However, the distinction comes between Christopher Tolkien and Simon Tolkien because Christopher Tolkien wanted to err on the side of not making films. Whereas Simon Tolkien, I do believe he sees dollar signs or pound signs because Great Britain. He sees money. I mean, and he is very smart. He's very intelligent, being a practiced lawyer, and he knows how to work this, and he knows how to pitch all of this publicity, and he knows how to read people. He's also made a decent career as an author. He has his own books. Some of them are better than others, or not. They seem to be quite on the nose for his own family stuff. But this last one, there's one about he wrote an historical fiction about the 1917 war, the Great War, which was interesting. I have not read any of his work. I'm just researching it and reading the reviews. And so, great. Why don't you run with that? Go with that. That would be better than trying to write the unwritten stories that Tolkien didn't write, that JRR Tolkien did not write. If he wanted to write fiction or fantasy, go do that. Make up your own thing. But I cannot help but connect some dots and conclude that Simon Tolkien seems to think that because he was something special as a kid, that gives him the right to split with his father, Christopher Tolkien, and his grandfather, JRR Tolkien, and sell all the rights to screen versions of J.R.R. Tolkien's work however he wants to. So I just don't, I think this guy is like the last guy who should be in the position he's in as the executor of the Tolkien Estate. I don't have confidence in this guy at all. And one other thing, I wasn't even going to mention it, but Christopher Tolkien was divorced, and Simon Tolkien was Christopher's son from that first marriage. And that might have played a role in some of this. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. However, I will mention one thing that I found very insightful, and that is that according to Wikipedia here, Faith Falconbridge, who was Christopher Tolkien's first wife, she was the one who separated from him and took Simon Tolkien, because Simon Tolkien grew up with his mother. So that to me is, I don't know what to make of it entirely. Again, I'm not assigning any fault to anyone. I'm just saying that she left him for whatever reason, and Christopher did not talk about it, according to one of the letters that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote to Machkovsky, something like that. And J.R.R. Tolkien said, "A shadow only guessed by us has been falling on my son Christopher and his wife for some time, and soon after Christmas, disaster came on them and us. His wife walked out and left him. I do not understand the matter fully. In any way, you should not wish me to discuss it." So I myself, in this same vein, don't know, and I don't intend to discuss much about it because I don't know anything about it. I mean, all we know is that it was difficult, and who knows exactly what happened, and I'm not assigning fault, but that could only have contributed to whatever rift it seems like happened between Christopher Tolkien and Simon Tolkien. So going back to Simon Tolkien, according to his own words, he thinks that Peter Jackson was too close to the books, and he believes that the films should get more of their own thing. And so perhaps for that reason, everything that's going, this is my point, everything that's going on with Amazon is just directly in line with Simon Tolkien's mantra and the interviews that exist that he did with, I guess, BBC, or I'd have to check on that. I will link the videos in the description. And they were back in 2012 and 2010. So yeah, I mean, Simon Tolkien, it seems like, is getting his way. I mean, he just is not the guy for the job. So thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. And Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will be happy to interact and learn more what you think. And if you have any more information, please do share, and I'd be happy to learn more about this subject. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice, and peace out.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...